The desert stretched endlessly before my rig, a black void swallowing my headlights. It was 2 a.m., and I was hauling a load of car parts through Nevada's desolate backroads, bound for a warehouse in Utah. I'd been a trucker for over a decade, but this night felt different, wrong somehow. The air was too still, the stars too dim. My CB radio hissed with static, but no voices broke through. I was alone. Or, so I thought. The road was a straight scar across the Nevada desert, the kind of lonely stretch that makes you question your life choices. My name's Jake, and I've been driving trucks for 13 years. Long hours, bad coffee, and the hum of the engine are my world. But that night in 2019, something happened that still wakes me up in a cold sweat. It was late, maybe 2 a.m., and I was hauling car parts from Reno to a warehouse in Salt Lake City. The route took me through a desolate patch of Nevada, where the only signs of life were the occasional tumbleweed and the faint glow of my dashboard. My headlights were old, flickering slightly, but I'd gotten used to squinting into the dark. The CB radio was quiet, just spitting static every few minutes. I liked the silence. It let me think. But tonight, the quiet felt heavy, like the desert was holding its breath. I'd been driving for hours, fighting the urge to pull over and catch a nap. Money was tight, and I couldn't afford to fall behind schedule. My wife Sarah was waiting on my paycheck to cover the mortgage, so I kept my foot on the gas and my eyes on the road. The monotony was broken when I saw something glint in the distance, right in the middle of the highway. I eased off the accelerator, my gut tightening. An animal? A piece of debris? Whatever it was moving fast. I slammed on the brakes, the rig's tires screeching as I stopped just short of a motorcycle. It was parked dead center on the double yellow line, its chrome reflecting my headlights like a mirror. The bike was sleek, a black Harley with no rider in sight. Its kickstand was down, and the engine was off, but the key was still in the ignition. Weirdest of all, a single red rose lay across the seat, its petals stark against the leather. I'm not a jumpy guy. Years on the road teach you to handle weird situations. Drunk drivers, blown tires, even the occasional hitchhiker with a wild story. But this was off. I sat in my cab, engine idling, scanning the darkness. Nothing moved. No sound but the faint tick of my cooling engine. I considered driving around the bike and forgetting it. But curiosity got the better of me. Maybe someone was hurt, or their bike broke down. I grabbed my flashlight and a tire iron, just in case, and climbed out of the cab. The desert air was warm and still, the kind of stillness that makes your skin crawl. I approached the motorcycle, my boots crunching on the gravel-strewn asphalt. The rose was fresh, its thorns sharp, like it had been plucked minutes ago. I swept my flashlight around, expecting to see someone, a rider, maybe, or signs of a crash. Nothing, just endless sand and scrub stretching into the dark. I circled the bike, my beam catching something etched into the gas tank. "Find me." The words were scratched deep, jagged, like someone had carved them with a knife in a hurry. My stomach twisted. This wasn't a breakdown. This was something else. I backed away, my grip tightening on the tire iron. The desert was too quiet, the kind of quiet that screams trouble. I scanned the horizon, my flashlight beam cutting through the dark. That's when I saw it, a faint glow, maybe 100 yards off the road, flickering like a dying campfire. Against my better judgment, I started walking toward it, my boots sinking into the soft sand. The glow came from a small lantern, half buried in the dirt. It was old, rusted, the kind you'd see in an antique shop. Next to it was a leather journal, its pages fluttering in a breeze I couldn't feel. I knelt down, my heart pounding, and picked it up. The pages were filled with frantic handwriting, dates, and coordinates. One entry caught my eye. May 23rd, 2019. He's watching. Don't stop. Don't look back. My blood ran cold. That was today's date. I snapped the journal shut and stood, spinning around, my flashlight darting across the desert. Nothing but shadows. I started back toward my truck, the lantern's glow fading behind me. That's when I heard it, a low, guttural hum, like a distant engine. It wasn't my rig. It was coming from the road. I sprinted back, my boots kicking up sand. My truck was where I'd left it, but the motorcycle was gone. Not moved, not ridden off, gone. The rose lay in the middle of the road, crushed flat, like something heavy had rolled over it. The hum grew louder, closer, and I saw headlights in the distance, barreling toward me. I scrambled into my cab and locked the doors, my hands shaking as I turned the key. The engine roared to life, and I floored it, the rig lurching forward. In my rearview mirror, the headlights were gaining. A black pickup truck, no plates, its grille gleaming like a predator's teeth. I pushed the rig harder, the speedometer creeping past 70, then 80. The pickup kept pace, its lights blinding in my mirrors. I grabbed my phone and dialed 911, my voice shaking as I explained what was happening. The operator told me to stay calm and keep driving until I reached a town or a patrol car. Easier said than done. The pickup was close now, close enough that I could see the driver, a silhouette, no face, just a dark shape behind the wheel. He flashed his high beams over and over like a signal. Then, without warning, the pickup swerved left and pulled alongside me. I glanced over, my heart in my throat. The driver's window was down, but the cab was empty. No one was driving. The truck matched my speed, its engine roaring like a beast. I screamed into the phone, begging the operator to send help. She said a patrol car was 10 minutes out. I didn't have 10 minutes. The pickup veered closer, its side brushing my rig. Metal screamed against metal, and I fought to keep the wheel steady. Then, just as suddenly, the pickup dropped back and turned off the road, its taillights vanishing into the desert. I kept driving, my knuckles white, my breath ragged. The road was empty again, but I didn't feel safe, not even close. 5 minutes later, I saw flashing lights ahead, a police cruiser. Thank God. I pulled over, my hands trembling as I explained everything. The motorcycle, the rose, the journal, the pickup. The officer, a grizzled guy named Harris, listened with a frown. He said he'd check the area, but his tone suggested he thought I was sleep-deprived or worse. He took the journal, promising to look into it, and sent me on my way. I drove the rest of the night in a daze, checking my mirrors every few seconds. I made my delivery on time, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something was still out there, watching. When I got home, I called the police station for an update. They had nothing. No motorcycle, no pickup, no record of anyone in the area. The journal? Lost in evidence, they said. I didn't believe them. A week later, I was back on the same route. I couldn't avoid it. Bills don't pay themselves. I was jumpy, scanning the road for anything out of place. Around midnight, I saw it again, a glint in the distance. I slowed down, my heart racing. It was the motorcycle, same black Harley, same red rose on the seat. But this time, there was a new detail. A handwritten note tucked under the rose. It read, "You didn't find me." I didn't stop. I floored it, pushing the rig to its limit. The pickup appeared again, its headlights blinding in my mirrors. This time, I didn't call the police. I knew they wouldn't help. I drove straight through to Utah, not stopping until I reached the warehouse. When I checked my truck, there was a fresh scratch along the side, deep and jagged, like someone had carved it with a knife. Inside the scratch were those same two words, "Find me." I quit that route after that, and I still drive, but I stick to busier highways, places where the lights don't die and the shadows don't move. My buddies think I'm crazy, that I imagined it all, but I kept the note, folded in my wallet, a reminder of that night. Sometimes, late at night, I hear that hum again, faint and distant, like an engine that never stops. And I wonder if whatever was out there is still looking for me. That's my story. It's been years and I still don't know what I saw. Maybe it was a prank or something darker. All I know is, when you're out there in the dark, alone, the road has a way of finding you. And sometimes it doesn't let go.